Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aaliyah. If you are new, if you are returning, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of like a story time, but I'm gonna call it like a life timeline story time. I wanted to talk to you guys about the truth about being a military child. If you guys are new to my channel, hi. I'm pretty sure you don't know that my family was a military family for 24 years. My dad just retired last year. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of being a military child. I don't think there's a lot of cons, but I think there's a lot of pros. So let's get into the video. Okay, so sorry that I'm fanning myself. I feel like I'm so hot. Okay, so I don't want this video to be long, so I'm gonna jump right into it. My dad joined the Army because he wanted a great life for my mom and my siblings and I. So my dad was 19 years old when he joined the Army, and my mom was 17 when she had my brother. So they were both young parents, and my dad was fresh out of high school. My mom had just graduated high school, and once my dad graduated, he joined the military May of 1995. I am sure it's May 1995. Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, he joined the Army and went through that entire process. After that, they were stationed in Fort Hood, Texas, where my older sister, me, and my twin were born. So Fort Hood, Texas babies. We're Texas babies. Love Texas so much. So like I said, you know, my dad joined because he wanted a great life for my mom and my siblings and I, and that's exactly what we got. With being in the military, well, with him being in the military, we got a great life. I think it was a smart decision. Of course, at his age, being 19, I don't know how he felt, but if I had joined the Army at 19, I felt like I would have been kind of scared, having to move to a new area that I'm not familiar with. But my dad and my mom did a great job. I'm sure that it was an adjustment because my mom and my dad were both in one state their whole entire life before my dad joined the military, and then they got stationed all the way in Texas. So imagine having to go 14 plus hours away from your family. That was them at the ages of 17 and 19. So yeah, I was born August of 1997. Me and my twin were born December of 1998. And then after that, we actually moved back to South Carolina for a little bit because my dad deployed. With my mom having 4 kids, and at this age, she was 21. I think she was 21 or she was 20. I don't know their exact ages, but like when all of this happened, but it was around that age, 2021. So she moved back home for a little bit, and then when my dad got back, we got stationed in Colorado, and that's where Tavana was born. So Texas, South Carolina, and Colorado. Colorado, my mom says, was so beautiful, so clear. Of course, like besides the snow, but with the snow, it made everything look so clear. And the snow was like pure white. She said it was so beautiful. I don't exactly remember Colorado because I was only 2, but yeah. So after we left Colorado, we got stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, and that was the first time we got stationed there. Then after that, it was back to South Carolina, and then we got stationed back to Texas, and then Georgia, and then we moved to South Carolina, and now I'm back here. So it's a huge timeline. I'm 21, so I did a lot of picking up and moving since I was born. But I honestly loved it. I loved it so much. And yeah, that's kind of like the background story, the states that we've been, the reason why my dad joined the Army. And yeah, as I just told you guys, I talked about all the states that we have been, and I loved moving. Of course, I did not like leaving my friends, but other than that, I loved moving to a whole nother state. You get a whole new scenery because each state is so different. Colorado is all the way in the west, Texas is all the way in the south, and then of course, South Carolina and Georgia are over here on the East Coast. But they were all totally different places. I really, really, really loved it. My childhood memory, I can probably remember stuff all the way back until the 1st grade, and then things get kind of blurry, but 3rd grade and up, I totally remember that. But 1st grade, I remember moving to South Carolina, and yeah, I don't remember a lot of my friends' 1st grade year and 2nd grade year, but 3rd grade year I definitely do, because that's when I met my best friend Kaylin Bishop, who was also in a military family as well. So I met Kaylin at 3rd grade. We met her in Fort Hood, Texas. We both attended Montague Elementary, and we were neighbors. She lived right across the street. Our family clicked because their siblings were just about the same age of ours. They had an older sister. Well, she had an older sister who was the oldest, like my brother, and then my brother was best friends with their brother. And then I had my older sister who's best friend with Kaylin's other older sister, Bria. Me, Nakia, and Kaylin are best friends, and then Tavana was close with Taryn. So our families literally just clicked. They clicked like that. There are times where I get like DMs and messages on Facebook of people who are like, I remember you, we went to this school together, and I'm like, I don't remember, but that's okay. I don't have a lot of yearbooks to go like based off of. I'm sure a lot of military families probably did get yearbooks so they can go back and look, but yeah, that happens all the time. Now, when we moved from Texas, we moved back to Fort Benning, Georgia, and I fell in love with Columbus for a little bit. I don't know what it was, but I just fell in love with Georgia, fell in love with being there. So we stayed in Fort Benning, Georgia from my 5th grade year all the way until my sophomore year of high school. So I attended Dexter Elementary. I think my first day was like, I know it was on my birthday, and I think it was 2009. So I attended that school right in the middle of the school year, met some amazing friends who to this day I'm still friends with. And then I did all 3 middle school years on base at Faith Middle School. And then I attended Northside High School. Northside is where I met my amazing best friend, Daisy. Yeah. Met my amazing best friend. I met Zach. I met so many great people, and it's crazy. We ended up moving my sophomore year, and we moved to South Carolina. That was different for me because I felt like I was older at that point in time, and then I had a relationship, and I had my friends, and my best friend Kaylin, she was up in Ohio, but they did live in Fort Benning, Georgia with us, and they were next door neighbors to us, literally next door neighbors. So you see why me and Nikki and Kaylin kept in touch like that, because we were always in the same area after 3rd grade, just about. But yeah, so I had Kaylin and Daisy there for a little bit. Well, Kaylin there for a little bit, and then I had Daisy and Zach. I had all my friends. I had all of my sports. I was on the track team and the cheerleading team there. So it was an adjustment moving to Lexington, South Carolina, because Northside and River Bluff were two different schools, and their curriculum is different. They're in 2 different states. So that was a big adjustment for me. I did not like River Bluff at first. I was like, oh, I don't really like it. I miss my friends. So my junior year, me and Nakia actually went back to Columbus a lot, at least once a month. And then senior year, we only went back for prom and graduation. And I'll probably do a whole nother video on why we stopped traveling like that. But now, that's it. So when it comes to traveling, because my family and I have been doing that at such a young age, it is so easy for us to pick up and move stuff. Like when I moved here to Kennesaw, we knew how to pack, we knew what to take. All of that was easy. Of course, I didn't like leaving my family, but it was easy for me because I had already done that process of having to pack up and move somewhere else. So that part was easy for me. As in leaving my family, that wasn't. So yeah, so there's some kind of like pros and cons when it comes to that. I feel like with friendships, I don't know if there's any cons, because if they're good friends and people that you actually like, then you should of course keep in touch with them. Me, Nikki, and Kaylin, in third grade I had a phone, but we weren't contacting each other anymore for like a little bit, and then we got back to talking. So it was like these kind of phases at first, especially being so young and not having a cell phone to stay, you know, in contact with each other. But as we got older, of course, it became easier. And yeah, I don't think there's any cons when it comes to that. Moving, I already said, no cons to that. Loved moving so much. I feel like my only con when it comes to being in a military family was the fact that my dad deployed. Sometimes my dad deployed for 12 months, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 times where he deployed for 15 months. So imagine a big part of your family, my dad, the man of the house, leaving, you know, and having to go somewhere else. And that was a long period of time for us. So kudos to my mom. We give her all the love, all the kisses, because she is so strong. And the fact that she was able to hold down the family while my dad was deployed shows how amazing she is, and really shows her amazing character. Because I'm telling you, I don't know if I could have done it. I probably could have, you know, if I was a mother and, you know, my husband had to deploy, but my mom really killed it. Like, we continued to do sports. We continued to go to school. We continued our after school activities. Like, we continued doing everyday life even without my dad there, because my mom was still doing such a great job. And then of course having my dad's support. The only thing that was really hard when he deployed was because it was a huge time difference. Like, it'd be morning here in the United States, but it'd be nighttime in Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever he was. So that was a huge adjustment as well. So he'd call either early in the morning or like late at night before we went to sleep. So adjusting to that schedule just for a little bit was difficult at first, and then of course we got on track, and then when he came home, things were seriously back to normal. We love it. I have an amazing family. My family has really helped me become the person that I am today, and I'm thankful for my mom and my dad for sacrificing everything for our family, picking up and moving at a young age, starting a family at a young age. Now we're all older and my parents are still young, so it's like everyone's really enjoying life. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but my dad's 45, my mom's 41, she'll be 42 this year. My brother just turned 25. My oldest sister will be 23 in August. Me and Nikki will be 22 in December. And then Tavana will be 20 in July. So, you know, we're all young, but my parents are still very young. They're in their early 40s. Would not change a thing about my life, would not change a thing about being a military family, would not want it any other way. I don't even know what a normal life is, you know, a life where you're born in one place, you grow up in that one place, you go to school with all the same people. I don't know how that feels, and I'm honestly glad I don't, because I love meeting new people. I love creating new friendships. I absolutely love it. I just want to get on here and give you guys kind of like a story time and the truth behind being a military family or being a military child. Yeah, of course, like I said in the intro, my dad retired. He's no longer in the Army, so we don't have to do any of that moving, but of course we will continue to move because we're just now starting our life. Kennesaw, and then of course wherever I go to graduate school at, I'll be moving. And then if my family decides to move when I get married and create a family, if we decide to move, you know, it will all be easy because I'm used to that. I really think I touched base on everything. All right, everyone, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure before you leave, you like it and subscribe down below. Also, before you leave, make sure you go down in the description box and follow me on all of my social media. And I'll see you guys in my next one.